The power that you have in your life, the dreams you have of achieving significant goals tomorrow are dependent on you taking a stance and hanging on to positive thoughts and actions. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Coming up in this edition of Jamaica Magazine, we look at ways to control the mosquito population to protect against mosquito-transmitted diseases. Plus, Sabina Park gets light. Also on the pages, the Minister of Education outlines the government's new textbook policy. Stay with us for these, our top news stories of the week and more on the other side of this break.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
By now, we all should be aware of the presence of the chikungunya virus being transmitted locally by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. We also should be aware that our only sure method of protection is to avoid getting bitten by mosquitoes. One of the critical ways to do that is to control the mosquito population by searching for and destroying breeding sites. Jamaica has many species of mosquitoes, and health workers and householders have long identified mosquitoes as a nuisance and a serious health hazard. So the control of mosquito breeding is important to reduce the occurrence of diseases such as dengue fever.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the dengue vector in Jamaica, breeds in containers in and around the homes. Anything in the home that can collect water will lend itself to the breeding of this mosquito. In terms of resources, currently the parishes have enough resources to start their program, and they have done so. And so we have enough fogging equipment, enough spray pump, and adequate staff to cover and to do what the Ministry of Health intends to do.
The Ministry of Health's comprehensive vector control program focuses on source reduction. Source reduction is done by eliminating likely breeding sites of mosquitoes in and around the house. There are two major methods of eliminating mosquito breeding sites. They are fogging and oiling affected drains and pools of water. Oiling targets the mosquito larva. Oil is spread on the surface of the water to cut off air and prevent the larva from breathing.
We encourage the householder, if you have to store your water in a container outside, that you properly cover it. Once it is properly covered, the mosquito is unable to go in and breed. But if it's left uncovered, this is what will happen. If you do not have proper covers that fits your container or any other thing that can properly cover to prevent breathing, we suggest that they use some cooking oil. What this does, if you pour the oil onto the surface of the water, this creates a thin film on the surface of the water, and it kills any mosquito larva that is present and reduces the possibility of other mosquito breathing.
Fogging is the method used to suffocate adult mosquitoes. This method brings fast relief for residents of mosquito endemic areas. It is done in the mornings and evenings, which entomologists say is more effective. Medical entomologist Shireen Huntley says Malassion, the insecticide used for fogging, is not harmful to humans.
It's one of the insecticides that are recommended by WHO, so we would not expect that, having been recommended by WHO, there will be ill effects to non-target organisms. It's a safe insecticide, and once used in the proper dosage and with the proper equipment, we do not expect any ill effect to come about as a result of the use of this insecticide.
Major breeding sites within the household include water storage containers, animal drinking containers, flower pots and vases, roofs, gutters, and pit latrines. In addition, rainwater collected in discarded containers, underground cisterns, wastewater drains, water storage tanks, cesspits and septic tanks, tree holes and bamboo stems can also contribute to the breeding of mosquitoes. Taking the following preventive measures can eliminate the breeding of mosquitoes in and around the house. Reduce water storage within the household to a minimum. Where this is not possible because of little or no piped water, keep water storage containers clean and securely covered. Store containers face down. Remove rainwater from roof gutters. Change water in animal drinking containers and flower vases daily. Scrub inside all vases when changing the water. Control the breeding of mosquitoes in pit latrines by keeping them covered. Clear yard of unnecessary containers that may collect water. Pierce holes in the bottom of containers being thrown away. Fill tree holes with sand to prevent the accumulation of water. Cover storage tanks or stock them with mosquito-eating fish. Seal all septic tanks properly using concrete. Major mosquito breeding sites in the community include spillage around water supply sources, wastewater drains, stormwater canals, cesspools, ponds and large water bodies such as streams and rivers, and water collected in potholes. To reduce mosquito breeding sites, cut all overhanging vegetation in rivers, streams and ponds. Avoid throwing garbage and debris into gullies, which will prevent the free flow of water and subsequently lead to the breeding of mosquitoes. Avoid dumping waste materials in empty lots. The Ministry of Health is also appealing to the public to guard against mosquito bites so as to avoid mosquito-borne diseases.
Simple things such as the use of repellents on their skins when they're going out in the evening. If you're going out in the evenings, we ask that you cover yourselves with long sleeve, wear trousers if possible. We ask that you use, for those who are not asthmatic or not affected, we ask that you use mosquito coils, the insect sprays. And you can also use mosquito screens at your window just to protect yourselves from mosquitoes coming in. And simple things such as closing your windows and doors by 5:36 to prevent the adult mosquito from coming in.
Remember, where there is full cooperation between members of a community, the Ministry of Health and other agencies, there will be a significant reduction in the breeding of mosquitoes. This will minimize the risk of an outbreak of mosquito-transmitted diseases. For further information on mosquito control, contact the Public Health Department of any government hospital or clinic near to you. Prevention is always better than cure, so let's reduce mosquito breeding sites in our homes and communities.
Our Civil Servant of the Year 2013, Entrose Angela Campbell.
This could be your colleague, the hard-working, exemplary civil servant at your office. The civil servant who's a strong professional, someone who goes beyond the call of duty, setting an example for others. Honor this person by nominating him or her for the 2014 Civil Servant of the Year Award. The deadline for nominations is Friday, August 29. For nomination forms and additional information on the award, contact the Employee Relations and Benefits Unit at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and the Public Service. Call 932-5375, 932-5367 or 932-5380. Civil servants, transforming Jamaica with exemplary service.
The possibility of hosting night games at Sabina Park is now real. More on that next.
Dreams of brighter days, giving thanks, as the days goes by, giving thanks and praise.
Sabina Park was established in 1930, and the first test match was played there soon after. One of its most famous moments came when former West Indian cricketer Garfield Sobers made a record-breaking score of 365 not out in 1958, a record that stood unbeaten for 36 years. Over the years, many other greats have shown their prowess at the grounds, including the likes of Courtney Walsh and Chris Gayle. Then in 2007, the stadium underwent major renovations to maintain and improve its capacity for hosting future great moments. The work was done to accommodate the International Cricket Council's World Cup and included the expansion of the capacity to about 20,000 seats. But there was one element still missing.
And God said, and there was light.
August 3, 2014 will surely go down as a momentous day in Jamaica's sporting history, as beams of light flowed over the famous cricket grounds, signaling brighter nights for Sabina Park.
Light is an integral part of the Indian culture, with the annual celebration of the Festival of Lights, referred to as Diwali. Cricket is also an integral part of the Indian culture. So just imagine what happens when you put the two things together, cricket and lights, and then ask an Indian government for support. The result is here for all to see, lights at Sabina Park.
Our national sport policy in Jamaica highlights as a priority the government's commitment to improving our sport infrastructure in order to foster the further development of sport. We had to find a way to ensure that lights would come to Sabina Park.
Yes, it was all made possible by an agreement with the government of India, which provided a grant of $2.1 million to Jamaica. Discussions began in 2012 between both nations. Then, Sabina Park Holdings and Kingston Cricket Club created a plan that was given to the Indian government. The first installment of $770,000 was released on March 31, 2014, and the second installment of $1.33 million was released on July 10, 2014.
This assistance is a reflection of our deep friendship and understanding, and also the recognition of Jamaica as one of the important bonds between the two cricket-loving peoples of India and Jamaica. We are trying to do everything possible to consolidate and strengthen our bilateral relationship.
The $2.7 million floodlight installation project, which was executed by the Urban Development Corporation, was rounded off with a $600,000 contribution from the Tourism Enhancement Fund. Works included the design, fabrication, and installation of 4 sets of lights, and 2 standby generators were set up to maintain uninterrupted power at the ground. All this now means that the world-famous Sabina Park will be able to host night cricket matches and other events, such as conventions and more.
The installation of lights here at Sabina is a significant milestone. The park is now up to international standards, putting it on equal footing and equal terms with any other stadium in the world.
I am very pleased to say with confidence and pleasure that the Sabina Park floodlighting project embodies all the hallmarks of collaboration, bilateral friendship, and teamwork for the betterment of Jamaica, and in particular for the furtherance of sport development.
If we only hope and pray, there will be a brighter day.
it surely is a new dawn for Sabina.
Let us now have light here at Sabina.
Dreams of brighter days. Giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks. Giving thanks as the days goes by, giving thanks and praise. Treat the youths right instead of putting up a fight.
I'm Mario Mackenzie, Robin, captain of the Calabar High Track team. And me have a message for anybody who are planning to take the tablet them, or the government give the school as for use in class. You never hear so them break the tablet them. That mean anywhere the tablets there, the government can shut them down. Plus GPS tracker installing of them. And even if you find a way, and you go around all of that, the minute you go up on the internet, them are going to know. So here what you do. Just leave the youth them with the tablet. Give them a chance to further them education. Makes sense. Done.
Are you of the view you're spending too much on textbooks for your children? The Ministry of Education agrees and has developed a textbook guide to help you avoid buying unnecessary texts, spending more than you need to. The Portfolio Minister joins us with a timely reminder of what you need to know and do.
Good evening. At the start of the new school year, the Ministry of Education is reminding school administrators and members of the public that we have introduced new guidelines aimed at keeping to a minimum the costs of back to school and particularly of purchasing supplementary books. Times are hard, and we are determined not to place unnecessary burdens on the backs of parents. Therefore, here is what you need to know. Firstly, in addition to the textbooks that government provides on the loan or rental scheme, students are required to acquire supplementary books. At grades 1 to 3, a workbook in mathematics and another in language arts are required. At grades 4 to 6, 4 workbooks, one for language arts, the other for mathematics, another for social studies, and a fourth for science are needed. When you get to grades 7 and 8, students will be required to purchase only literature books, and these will probably be about 5 books when you get to grade 9. Another thing you need to know is that when we estimated in May, it was that the cost for books at the primary level would be about $5,000 and $12,000 at the high school level. But since then, we know that prices have increased. So you must expect to pay a bit more. Next, find out from schools which books your child will need for the first term's work and buy those. And then you can wait until later to buy the remainder which are necessary. The ministry has recently surveyed the prices of books on the market, and we have found instances of exorbitant prices. We are asking parents to shop around, therefore, for the best deals. Now, these estimates of cost do not include the one-time expenses to purchase additional materials like atlases, Bibles, geometry sets, or dictionaries. And we're also advising parents to bring to the attention of the ministry if they are given book lists that deviate from our guidelines, so that we can instruct those schools to comply. And you can call us on the telephone hotlines which are appearing on your screen if you have any questions. The Ministry of Education commends those schools and book retailers who have been cooperating with our efforts to ease the back-to-school financial burden from parents. We don't want parents to spend what they don't have to purchase unnecessary textbooks when the government already spends nearly $1 billion to provide primary level textbooks and also to provide for a book rental scheme at the high school level. The Ministry of Education has already delivered books to the primary schools for the new school year, and suppliers of books for the rental scheme at the high schools are promising to deliver to ensure availability by September morning. It is the responsibility of school officials to report any shortage of textbooks to the ministry now and not to wait until school opens. School principals are being asked to be firm but also patient and understanding with parents who may need time to organize full uniform compliance or to arrange terms for the payment of auxiliary and other fees. Students are not to be turned away from school. Indeed, we are looking forward to a smooth opening of the new school year. Thank you so much.
If you still haven't gotten all your child's textbooks or want to help others with theirs, the JIS Book Exchange program remains open. Donate, exchange, or share textbooks that you no longer need, whether they are new or used. For infant, primary, high, or even university students, exchange or share your books. Pass them on to those that need them. Drop them off at GIS's head office on 58A Halfway Tree Road or email pr@gis.gov.jm to make arrangements for drop-off. For further information, contact the Public Relations and Marketing Department at 9291919 or 926359024. Join the mission and be a part of the JIS Book Exchange Initiative.
You've got to start at ABC.
Unfortunately, this drought has again highlighted some dangerous agricultural practices, such as burning to clear the land. These fires get out of control and have been detrimental to farms, livestock, and regrettably result in loss of lives. I want to urge our farmers to stop this practice of lighting fires to clear land. It is just not worth it.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The IMF staff mission to Jamaica has confirmed that the country passed the 5th quarterly test under the Extended Fund Facility. The team has been in the island since August 13 and presented their findings at a press briefing Friday morning.
The program is on track. Overall, policy implementation under the program remains strong. All quantitative performance targets, indicative targets, and structural benchmarks for end June were met.
The government of Jamaica is committed to continuing the extensive program of reforms of tax and public sector financial management, of the public sector modernization, of labor market reforms, all of which are important elements of the program going forward.
Earlier in the week, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, released data showing that the Jamaican economy continued to grow.
Real gross domestic product in the Jamaican economy grew by an estimated 1.2% in the April to June 2014 quarter, compared with the corresponding quarter of 2013.
The PIOJ said the positive economic results were driven mainly by growth in agriculture, forestry and fisheries, and the hotel and restaurants industries. The institute also said the economic outlook for the country over the short to medium term was strong.
This is based on the continued strengthening of productive activities in most industries, as indicated by data available for July 2014.
The PIOJ Director General said GDP for the July to September quarter was expected to grow in the range of 0 to 1%. Chief Education Officer at the Ministry of Education, Dr. Grace McLean, says everything is in place to ensure a smooth start to the new school year, which begins on Monday, September 1.
I'm pleased to say that all high schools' accounts are now funded with the tuition and maintenance grants. Primary schools are funded with their first term grants as well.
While addressing a JIS think tank session, Dr. McLean also reminded school administrators that students should not be disbarred from attending classes because of non-payment of auxiliary fees. She said the internal tuition grants and auxiliary fee structures for the 2014-2015 academic year should also remain the same as last year.
No changes should be made within our schools unless approval has been given for specific reasons.
A cabinet subcommittee headed by the Minister of National Security has been established to develop a strategic response to the treatment of persons in lockups and correctional facilities. It was also revealed on Monday that Minister Peter Bunting was reviewing a revised lockup administration policy received from the Acting Commissioner of Police. The policy contains new arrangements pertaining to the care and protection of persons in police custody. In the meantime, Minister Bunting has received a status report on the number of persons in police custody as at Friday, August 16. And finally, the Ministry of Health is again urging members of the public to help prevent the spread of the chikungunya virus by searching for and destroying mosquito breeding sites. On Wednesday, the ministry confirmed 7 additional cases of chikungunya after receiving the positive test results from the Caribbean Public Health Agency. This brought the total number of confirmed cases for Jamaica to 17, 14 from local transmission, 2 imported, and 1 that's still under investigation because of the individual's travel history. The affected parishes remain St. Thomas, St. Catherine, St. Anne, and Kingston and St. Andrew. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for watching. It was good sharing this half hour with you. So join us again tomorrow for more. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISNews. And of course, our website, jis.gov.jm, remains a constant portal for the very latest government information. So keep the link. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, stay safe and be good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.